The rules are we are Britannian and we were brought in by the royal family to uncover who the masked man named Zero is just after his first appearance. However, I have already been researching on the identity of Zero beforehand. During the battle at Shinjuku, the Britannian military was winning against the rebels and almost cornered them when the tides of the battle started to turn. All of a sudden, the Britannian forces were losing soldiers as the battle continued. They were being led into traps and their own strategy was being used against them. The rebels ended up getting away that day. I would assume that during the fight the rebels were able to bring in some kind of help, or that they gained a person with exceptional strategic and tactical abilities. I would imagine that whoever they hired would most likely not be a Japanese themselves. I would have to assume some outside force was involved. Perhaps they worked out a deal with a more powerful person to aid them. I would start by investigating amongst other nations as well as more privileged places that the rebels were more recently seen at before Shinjuku. To add, I would also request to know what was in the truck they obtained as well as how they managed to obtain it. A couple days to a week later, it's announced that Suzaku is responsible for Prince Clovis's murder and will be executed. During the transportation of Suzaku to be executed, the people escorting Suzaku stop. As this happens, an clone of Prince Clovis's car pulls up in front of the guards. A man steps out and threatens the crowd by potentially releasing a harmful gas in exchange for Suzaku. This man calls himself a Zero and says that he is the real person responsible for killing Prince Clovis. After the guards bring Suzaku over, Zero's fake car pulls up closer to the guards, and as this happens, a piece of his mask reveals his eye while he telling Jeremiah to let them escape along with Suzaku. After this, Jeremiah does exactly what Zero tells him to and lets them escape along with Suzaku. Because of this, it would seem that perhaps Jeremiah was a spy for the person now known as Zero. However, I find the circumstances to be strange, as it seems like Jeremiah wasn't actually interested in letting Zero go until after Zero came closer, revealing his eye, and commanding him to let them go. Nonetheless, I still would suspect that Jeremiah might be a potential spy for this man named Zero. As well, I would ponder why Zero wanted to capture Suzaku in the first place. Suzaku could be a friend, someone Zero knows well, or perhaps he knows a skill Suzaku has that can help him. Either way, it's possible that Suzaku might know who Zero is without actually knowing it. Just after Zero appeared and obtained Suzaku, Suzaku was released by Zero, not harmed at all, and came back to Britannia. I find it strange that after working so hard to capture Suzaku, Zero just let him go. I would at least assume that Zero would have killed Suzaku if he tried to escape him. This furthers my idea that Suzaku and Zero might have close ties to each other. At this point, I secretly offer my help to Britannia to help them catch Zero. They bring me in and offer me some people who could be of assistance to me. I would get one of them to observe Suzaku and have him followed for a while without knowing it, while recording everything he possibly can and informing me on any of the circumstances or people he makes contact with. After a while of Suzaku being free, he starts to attend classes at a school called Ashford Academy. At the same time, I ask questions about what might have happened with Jeremiah when Zero approached him and revealed his eye from his mask to the royal family of Britannia. They might reveal the power of Geass to me, and I'd be more prepared against Zero. Nonetheless, even if they don't tell me, my suspicion is that something about Zero revealing his eye made Jeremiah do what he wants, possibly some kind of hypnosis. I would make sure that whoever is helping me wear a helmet or tinted glasses to cover their eyes when investigating possible suspects. As well, I'd want to investigate people Jeremiah made contact with within the last week or so. The person following Suzaku notices a group of people Suzaku routinely hangs out with. Those people are of the student council. I'd investigate all the members of the student council and possibly find out that Lelouch is Suzaku's oldest friend. I would have one of each of the student council be followed to see if they have any connections to Zero. I would also look into their attendance records and find out that Lelouch misses a lot of classes. As well as this, when the student council isn't in their rooms, I wiretap them, as well as placing a couple of cameras in their rooms. I might also come across Zero's costume as well. When Lelouch is in his room, I overhear him talking about wanting to obliterate Britannia, and I save a recording. I tell the person following Lelouch to keep following him, as well as video record whatever happens. While Lelouch is being followed, he leads us right to his hideout where the Black Knights are. I inform the royal family of who Zero is with the evidence I have. I also inform them of the things they should do while confronting Lelouch about being Zero, such as wearing helmets or strongly tinted glasses so he can't see their eyes. Lelouch gets arrested for being Zero and is sentenced to execution, and that's how I would beat Zero. Do you think there's a better way to do it? Let me know in the comments.